Hi, Luann and audience. How are you today, Luann?
Hey, I'm doing great, Mark. How about yourself?
Wonderful. We have Luann in studio in Plymouth, Minnesota.
Yes, I came to visit for this big podcast today, and we're having a hot Java cup of coffee with our Young and the Restless cups.
Victor Newman from all angles.
Yes, all things Young and the Restless.
Right. We're all about it here at Soapdish.
Yes, we are.
All right, Luann, it's been a while, and welcome back to Minnesota.
Yes.
And you're here at the right time of year, as everyone knows.
Oh,
But
I know this is a lot nicer than Florida right now. It's too hot in Florida, but weather here is beautiful, and enjoying time with my friends and my family, and I. It's not every day I can sit in the studio with you and podcast and see your smiling face.
yeah, same here, Luann. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, let's dish. So we're talking Young and Restless.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk Lily and Cain to start out with.
Mm-hmm.
You want to update us? Give us your thoughts.
Well, in yesterday's episode, Lily, Cain is still trying to win over Lily, and she has kept saying over and over, it's not going to happen. Even at the chateau, he thought, to be honest, it's like, Cain, really, did you think what you were doing by trying to take over a lot of the companies in Genoa City was going to win over Lily? It's
right.
Like, it's doing totally the opposite. And then with Newman's press release of Cain, that he was Aristotle Dumas, is causing all kinds of waves of anger and frustration, and especially for Cain, because Cain and Lily said, "Hey, what about our two children? They're going to read this, and what are they going to think?" And so Cain was trying to swing a deal with her that, if I'll stop doing what I'm doing, if you'll be willing to meet with me and the kids and explain. And Lily was ready to buy into it, but she said no deal. And so Cain is kind of left with, now what do I do to win her over? And he's going to have to work pretty hard, because Lily has pretty much put her foot down and said, I'm not bending to you.
Right.
No matter what you say and do, I will never win you back. And he's like, well, we had a love that is once in a lifetime. And she said, no.
Do you remember back in the day, though? I mean, Cain was I remember actually liking his character.
Yeah.
That he was actually a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
And I always feel like now they've made him out to be a worse character than what he actually left as.
Right.
Did I miss something, or is that your impression?
My impression, too, was he was always he was a good dad to their kids. And, he probably got into some deals that didn't go his way.
Right.
And he and, Lily had a fallout. But I always thought they had a good relationship. I liked the two of them together. And, and I don't know if, because they were talking about his father, and so now.
I liked his character, by the way. I thought his dad was awesome. I mean, just a good snake.
Yes.
For a soap opera.
Yes. And, now, and I was going to say this because the character who played his dad was in real life is Tristan Rogers, and he just died of cancer. And so when I could put that all back together, it was kind of like, oh, I remember.
Now, are you saying in real life he died of cancer?
Yeah, in real life,
okay.
Tristan Rogers.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Died recently of cancer. And I still remember when he was with Jill.
Yeah, me too.
His relationship with Jill. And they had some exciting times together. And so, it's too bad that, because Cain's father caused some rifts with the rest of Genoa City.
Yeah. And
I think Cain is trying to live that down and try to prove that he's his own man, but he's just going about it the wrong way. And whatever he's going to have to change his game plan to win Lily over. And I don't know what it will take.
And how does his plan? So I'm trying to figure out how his plan works into how does the whole taking over basically the town of Genoa City, Wisconsin?
Yes.
What does that do to win Lily back? Is there any connection?
Because the only thing that he was really trying to do was get Chancellor back, because that was hers originally, and he thought to win her back, he'd get that. That's why he was doing some wheeling and dealing with Nikki and Victor
Right.
at the chateau, because that's the one he really wanted. And, now we'll talk a little bit about that with what he's doing with Billy
Victor.
and Phyllis and with Victor, because he wants to take over Jabot now. Well, Victor wants Cain to be very, try to work him in to take over Jabot instead.
Let's talk about that. So
Okay.
Victor Newman has got a clash going on with Billy, which, I mean, it ties into several people, but Billy directly, Victor's been trying to break up. Well, that's a whole other deal. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, so we'll see where this all goes. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
He's kind of doing a lot of maneuvering. Victor is.
Victor is, and I don't think Billy will be on board with that, but he's trying to play Nick and Adam as good cop, bad cop with Cain. And Nick is going to be the good cop to try to get on Cain's side and see what's going on. Or Nick is trying to make some headway with Phyllis, to have her spill some of the information. But Phyllis, to be honest, doesn't know a whole lot. But she wants in on this big game plan, whatever it is of Cain's. And I think in today's episode, she's going to be giving him her thoughts on what she thinks should be done. And it'll be interesting to see what Cain thinks, because Phyllis thinks she's a big power player in this whole thing with him. And it's like, Phyllis, really? It wouldn't surprise me if she falls flat on her face again.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it came up while they were out on his island, but the whole idea behind using Phyllis kind of as her IT skills, which I have no idea how the hell she got IT skills when I look at her, kind of her background. But at any rate, to hack into systems like Chancellor or Newman Enterprises or whatever, right? So I still think that's how he's going to use her, but we'll see.
We'll see. If we'll see what he plans for her, and if Phyllis is willing to do that, because it may mean going against the Newmans, the Abbotts, and Nick. And
right.
I don't know if she'll do that, but Victor is trying. I think he wants Jabot to be like the sacrificing lamb for that, because it's like let's kind of give him Jabot and see what we can do. And hopefully Billy will help Jack or keep him updated, what's going on, so that they stay one step ahead of Cain and the Newmans, if that is going to happen, because that would bring out an all-out war between Jack and Victor then.
Right. So, I mean, let's talk about Victor and his concerns with Cain. I mean, obviously, everybody's kind of feeling the threat of Cain, but Victor, I don't know. I'm just really struggling with why Cain is making this big power play if his real goal is to win Lily, because it seems like it's counterproductive. But,
exactly. And it's like, did he think by winning over all the companies, I'll be rich? And
right. She's just going to go for that, because that's not Lily. She could care less.
Right. If he thought, I'll have more power, have more money.
Right.
This will be, Lily will have the life that she wants
and so richly deserves.
But Victor, I think Victor is doing like what they say in The Godfather. You hold your friends close, but your enemies even closer.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Victor is doing. He wants to be in on what Cain is doing.
Right.
And, all along when they were at the chateau, Victor, he always sits back there silently, and then he'll say, well, I knew this all. I knew about Cain, what he's planning. And it's like, really, Victor? You keep that secret pretty well, and your little cup there. Well,
there's a reason why, because Victor is supernatural.
He's supernatural, yeah. He knows all.
The Victor Newman. Victor knows all and tells all, and he'll find out. If he doesn't know, he'll find out.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about Claire, Kyle, and Holden.
Yes. Victor is still working. He thought he had a comrade in Audra to split.
Yes. Yes.
And Claire, when they were at that chateau, that Audra would come on to Kyle, and Kyle read her, what her little signals were putting out, and he said no to it all. but now she's, pulling him into embraces in front of Claire and giving him a big kiss, and Claire can see through it all. And Victor's plan is like, I still don't want Claire with Kyle. Whatever it takes, I don't want her with him. And Claire is, talking with Nikki and, saying, I love Kyle. I wish Grandpa would just back off. And she's like, I know, but he cares about you and he doesn't want to see you get hurt. And so I think, because when Kyle was gone, Claire was having just some difficult times because her dad had died, and Kyle wasn't there to comfort and support her, and there was Holden. And now I think Holden,
good old Holden,
the guy just waiting in the wings. And I think there might be something more that happens with Holden and Claire. Who knows if I don't know how Victor will feel about that relationship either, because I have a feeling no one is good enough for his Claire. And and I thought it was interesting when Claire was talking with Nikki and she said, hey, I'm going to go after Audra because I'm not going to let her get by with this. And she says, I won't do anything crazy like my Aunt Jordan. She said, don't worry about that.
Crazy Aunt Jordan.
Crazy Aunt Jordan.
There's a name from the past.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that Claire stands up on her own, and she's but she she's kind of the victim here sometimes, but Claire is strong. So we'll see how, if Kyle right now is being on the straight and narrow with her, but if he, does one thing wrong, I think Victor's going to pounce right down his throat and come after him, and we'll see.
So what's the deal with Audra? Because she was telling people that Kyle had come on, that he actually did come on to her. Mm-hmm. And so is that going to get any traction? I mean, is anybody buying into that, or?
I don't think they are.
I think so. Because
I think they can read Audra, and her past history tells you what she's going to be about and what she's doing. And, what
about Claire? She's not buying it?
Claire's not buying it right now. She thinks that he's just, or that she's just doing this all as a show whenever Claire happens to be nearby, and Kyle, Audra will pull Kyle into some embrace or kiss or something. So Claire is reading through that, but it'll be interesting because it looks like in the previews, Claire does talk with Nate and kind of says, hey, do you know what your girlfriend Audra is doing, what she did?
Has that happened yet? I saw that.
It's coming this
That's
week.
A preview,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what Nate does then with Audra. I know he really loves her. Will he, forgive her? I'm sure. But it's going to be a wake-up call for Audra. It's like, you better shape up.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Nate is actually too good for Audra.
I do.
Because Nate's a little bit of a snake himself.
He is.
But she's a complete snake.
Yeah.
So.
And I think what ticked her off is when she went to visit Victor after they all got back from the chateau. And he said, hey, you didn't keep up your end of the deal.
Right. The deal's off. You're out.
Yep, exactly.
You're fired.
And it's like, Audra, really? Were you that surprised that he did that? Because Sally forewarned her. Sally said, you're making a mistake if you go back to try it with him. And so it is happy. But
and she did anyway.
And now Sally, with Abbott Communication that really hasn't taken off yet, and Billy Boy has given, Sally the job and made her top dog kind of there too. Well, Sally has made an offer to Audra, and she hasn't advised Sally yet if she will or won't take the position. So we'll see what happens with that. But first, Abbott Communications has to happen.
Right.
We'll see.
That's been a pipe dream for a while now.
For Billy, it's been a pipe dream.
Yeah, right. Right. All right, let's talk about... Phyllis and Caine. We've touched on that a little bit already. But
yeah, I it'll be interesting in today's episode. We can report in a future podcast, but it'll be interesting to see what idea or thoughts that Phyllis has to pass on to Caine and see what he thinks. Does he really look at her as someone that he has confidence in and that he wants to do business with her, because she's really the only one person that has come forward.
And Phyllis, of all people, she's pretty protective of Billy. And that's kind of one of Chance's, or Cain, sorry, Cain's targets. So,
yeah. And, based upon our last podcast, at the chateau, the final outcome of that whole thing was, Damien died and Chance died. And we really never we never were able to see the final goodbyes. They had the funerals. We just heard about them. How sorry they were to hear about, and how sad it was for Damien and now his mom, Amy. It's going to be interesting what they do with her character now that, the son she was hoping to reconnect with, she did. But now will Amy still stay in the picture, too, with me?
I'm gonna make a bold prediction here on this actual storyline, and that is I'm gonna say Damien's actually not dead.
Oh.
I think that whole shooting that whole knife throwing thing where it hits him in the back, I think that was all staged.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
With maybe because Damien and Holden both worked for Cain, and Cain seemed surprised with it all. So, unless Damien and Holden had something in the wings here too.
We'll see. But yeah, on the other hand, the crazy assistant that he had, Carter,
yeah,
he seemed like he was good for it. So
yeah.
Maybe not, but
yeah, and,
just a thought.
Right. And for all the years that Chance was on The Young and the Restless, all of a sudden he's just off, and he's
on another soap.
Yeah, he's on another soap. In fact, he and the Cain kind of switched roles here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting how they did that in the soap world of daytime drama.
It's craziness.
It's craziness. And so, we'll see how that goes. And Nick and Phyllis were talking about Summer a little bit. Because remember in the last podcast, you and I have talked that, will they ever bring Summer back? And I got the impression she's not coming back anytime soon because they said, Phyllis kind of mentioned, Summer's still in Paris and this is too hard for her to come back with Chance, being gone now. And then with, Kyle with Claire. She said, so no, I don't think she'll be coming back home. So.
I also read that the character, and I can't think of her name off the top of my head, her real name, that played her, but I had heard that she was she was leaving the soap because she wanted to branch out into television.
Okay. Maybe she wants to do Hallmark movies.
That's what I actually heard was Hallmark movies. Yeah. So listeners, look out for her on the Hallmark for Christmas movies this year.
Because that's where the original Summer went to. Hunt. I think her name was Hunter something. And then
it is Hunter. You're right.
And then I've also seen Audra. Character plays Audra. She's been in the Hallmark movie too.
Oh, really?
And then we were just talking the other day that Devon Winters.
Yeah.
He's been on on the Gates.
Yeah. What's that all about? Did you find out?
Well, all he's doing is the actress who played, she has the long silver hair. She's a singer, and it sounds like Devon wants to sign her to a contract or something. Oh, so he's doing
a crossover.
Yeah.
And like they do on those soaps.
Yeah. Yep. So they're doing that. And so, who knows? Maybe Devon will spend some time between both soaps because he doesn't get fully utilized either on Young and the Restless.
He used to play a much bigger role on the soap than he does now, yeah.
And with Abby not having as big of a role either.
Right.
So that'll be interesting to see what they do there. Mm-hmm.
It's all so dramatic, Luann.
It is.
All right, let's talk about Mariah and Sharon.
Yes. Mariah still is not willing to talk about what happened when she was on her business trip,
right?
Even with Sharon, and Sharon is trying many different things, saying that she should go talk to someone, goes to some therapy, and Mariah's like, I don't need that. And the only thing we see in flashbacks is that she is smothering some man. It looks like a stranger because he does not look familiar.
But she had that vision of that guy. It's the same guy, but that there was some older guy that was kind of hitting on her in a bar, right?
Right.
And that kind of all tied in together.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So did she, kill him?
Did she murder him? Or
and she can't face the consequences of what happened there. So hopefully we'll see more this week about Mariah and Sharon, maybe we'll get a few more hints.
Yeah, I wish they'd kind of I don't want to say wind it up, but let's go somewhere with that story.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of a good storyline, but let's move it. I suppose they're holding it while they're doing some of this other stuff.
Correct. Yes.
What I would suggest, Luann, in this case is if you want to really get down to the bottom of what's going on with her, with Mariah, you would hire a certain man to help him find. That would be Victor Newman. You'd get Victor's Cracker Jack security team on trying to figure out what happened. He would find out.
The evidence will lead them right to.
Correct. Victor normally within days will have an answer.
Yeah. So, exactly.
There you go. But also that relationship is obviously affecting Daniel and Tessa, because Daniel and Tessa have gotten close.
Yes, and he's kind of Daniel's even told his dad, Danny Romaletti, that he's starting to have, she's not just my guitar instructor. I'm feeling a little bit more for her. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to, you kind of, in one of our podcasts, you kind of predicted that there might be more for Tessa and Daniel. So I think there could be something budding there a little bit for them.
I think she's gorgeous.
Oh, and I really like that she's lightened her hair. It really looks pretty on her.
She really looks really good. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there too with Daniel, and I think he's going to be pulled more into all this going on with Phyllis and Cain, because he's very dead against Phyllis joining forces with Cain, and I don't know if somehow Daniel will get pulled into that a little bit more too.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, and Phyllis probably would drag somebody down with her. That's kind of par for the course.
Right. Yeah, but with all of the doings of the chateau and all of that, the only things that really came out of that is the two deaths from Genoa City and then Carter, and then we got a little taste of what Cain is trying to do, and he's trying to win over Lily. But other than that, it's, it'll be interesting over the next couple of weeks to see what all transpires with Cain's game plan, and what will he take over? He's already bought the Genoa City Athletic Club, the hotel, but he still doesn't stay there. That was interesting
that's right.
He really likes those railroad cars, so that's where he's staying.
Yeah, you wonder what that's all about.
I know.
Weird.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to hold true to my prediction on that one, though, that Tessa and Daniel they're going to get involved.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they will. And
in fact, that might actually prompt the story for Mariah to actually reveal then at that point what happened.
Yeah, because if she knows that she's maybe losing Tessa.
Right. She might be desperate then and just say, okay, if I don't want to lose her, I got to come out with it.
Right. Because right now she's just kind of like, I can't say anything.
Right.
I don't want to include you on what I've done.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. And Tessa's like, wait, I can't help you if you don't tell me what's going on.
That's right.
So.
Yep. Yep. We have texts coming in by the number from our listeners.
Yes.
If that's what you're hearing in the background.
Our numerous.
All right. So my next question, Luann, for you is what would you do with the current storyline if you were going to work it from here forward?
I think they should continue. I think Victor should stay on task and keep Adam, because Adam's going to play the bad cop, and have him keep going after Jabal.
He does that well, by the way.
Yeah, he does it well. And, because Adam has been very nice and good lately, especially with Chelsea and being good. And so he's like, oh, you want me to be the bad guy again? It's like, I can do that. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to do that. And I want to see them go after Jabot and see what happens with that ramification for Billy. Because it's like, and Phyllis has not been completely honest with Billy. I should mention that. She told Billy he was out of Cain's company. And really, Cain did not say that. Because Phyllis wants full control.
Right.
So it'll be interesting if Billy finds out he is still part of this, and then the Jabot is going down. How quickly will he bring Jack on board so that they can remedy this?
Yeah.
And then the next part would be, what is Jack going to do? because if
he'll go after Victor.
he'll go after
Victor.
Victor.
He's been really trying to control himself, which is good. But I think if Victor comes after him again, he'll fire him up really quick. And you're right. Him and Billy will team up, and they'll go after. They'll go after the old Victor Newman.
Yes. Oh, right.
I like that suit.
Yeah, that's a nice suit on him.
Yep. I wore that to prom.
Yeah. Hey, and you should tell our listeners you actually met Victor.
No, I had the opportunity to meet him in Northfield, Minnesota.
Northfield.
He was speaking at St. Olaf at the college there, and unfortunately we were living in Wisconsin at that time, and so I was quite a ways away, and I just couldn't make it.
You missed a golden opportunity,
and I already had a heck of a good time in Northfield while he was there, and so that would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
And then I might have booked him on my podcast.
Oh, wouldn't that be enough?
Wouldn't have been that sweet?
Wow, that would have been real sweet.
Oh,
good old Victor. He could have filled us in more.
That's right.
What's happening in General City?
That's right. Yep, that's right. All right. So, anything else? What else would you do?
I'm trying to think here. What else I would do? I like you said. I think we'll.
Where do you think it's going to end up? Where do you think the Victor Newman thing will end up with Cain?
Oh, I think it's going to continue on for quite a while. Look at the chateau. How long that will continue?
Oh no!
Yeah, and I think there's going to be some underdoings here with Billy and Phyllis, and you don't know who to trust. That's going to be who do you trust?
Right.
And when it comes to Adam, and Nick get a little more involved. Now because I was surprised Nick is coming more on board with Victor, with sitting down with him and saying, what do you need me to do? What do you want me to do? And it has to do, because like Nick said, I will do whatever it takes to protect our family now and the companies and the businesses, because as Nick was
boys are growing up in Victor's shadow.
Yeah, that's right.
They both are.
Both are, yeah. And like Nick, when he was talking with Sharon, she has a little company. It was their daughter's name. I can't remember exactly what it is, but he said, Cain might be looking at taking that over too. So it'll be interesting over the next several weeks. What companies is Cain actually really interested in? Is he just kind of playing the game like I want to buy everything out, but which ones is he really interested in?
Okay, I'll make a prediction off of that, and I will say that what is going to happen is he'll blackmail Lily. Oh. He'll end up saying Lily either. He'll get the Winters family in a pinch to where they're going to lose everything. And then he will say, well, if you and I get together, if we'll be a couple, then I'll drop all that.
Yeah, I'll save it all.
Yeah.
That's
Can't you see that?
Yeah, that's an excellent prediction.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Elvis has left the building.
Yes. And I think on that note, we are done too.
You think we're about done?
Yes, I think
all right.
We're about done.
Until we dish again.
Oh, everything young and the restless.
Keep it very sudsy, and we're out.
Yeah.